This is Glasgow Rangers Nation. I am Owen James, and this is your Rangers news channel, guys. Your one-stop shop for all the latest things Rangers. You know what? No one likes Monday mornings. You know what? Monday is like the turd that you can't flush away. It's like the Celtic fan that you have to put up with, isn't it? You know, no one really likes them, but you know what? It has to happen, doesn't it? I suppose. You know, poor swine's got to support them. Same way, we've got to have a Monday. We have a Monday, and obviously we won't have a next weekend. We don't have a next weekend. We haven't got an Old Firm game to look forward to. We'll obviously be building up to that Old Firm game here on the channel. So strap yourselves in, guys, as this week unfurls, as this week goes at roller coaster speed, and it is going to be one of those weeks. Well, we hope it's going to be one of those exciting weeks of non-stop Rangers news, of non-stop drama, of non-stop excitement, of non-stop announcements from the club. And I'm not talking about Rangers are proud to present that Tenorman is now the official sponsor of the club's toilet facilities. Not that sort of announcement. We want some proper announcements, don't we? Never like, you know, players signing, players going. That's what we want to hear. But we're going to talk initially. We're going to talk about this weekend that was. Obviously, we'll look at the Rangers game. We'll look at the results from the weekend. That will involve mentioning other teams. I'm sorry if you don't like me mentioning other teams. As I was told earlier by one other podcaster from another channel, that's just weird, mentioning another team. You cretin, I think I was called. And, you know, obviously you're not a real Rangers fan because you talk about other teams. Okay, mate, fair enough. Yeah, you keep your opinions to yourself. I'm sure the facility you escaped from will have you back very soon indeed. Absolutely. Anyway, we'll talk about that. We're going to talk a little bit about Philippe Clement reining back slightly on what he said about players from the squad on the weekend not leaving. And we're also going to talk a little bit about a player that I would really love to see come through the door this week. A player who is a young, talented Scottish player who I really think could add to our midfield. You know, someone who I think could be absolute quality in either the 8 role, the 10 role, but would be a Scottish player and would be obviously help with the quota, but also be a talent for the future and a talent for now. Someone who could play for the club for a long period and really impress. We'll get to him shortly, so hang on for that. Well, this weekend, the results, as we saw, well, it was a fantastic, obviously, result for Rangers, 6-0 over Ross County. What was even more encouraging, 2 goals for Dessers, 2 goals for Matondo, 1 for Lawrence, and 1 for that boy Danilo. So made up for that man I was. Absolutely chuffed to bits for him. You know, after coming back from that injury, after all that lad has been through last season, I'm not surprised at the emotion the lad showed. But I'm absolutely 110% made up for that boy scoring the goal. Hopefully that is the first of many goals this season. Obviously another big, massive positive was Cyril Dessers making it 5 in 5. Top scorer in Scotland and certainly outscoring the very much hyped and Lawrence Shanklin and the very much overhyped Kyogo the Diver for a Hashi. So, you know, that's where it is. Apologies if you don't like me mentioning players from the teams, by the way. I do apologise about that. Oh, you've just mentioned somebody from Celtic. You must be a Celtic fan. Back off. Anyway, Hibs 2, Dundee 2 was the other one, including the incredibly hilarious, and if you've seen it on Twitter or on X, Dundee United bus breaking down, having to be towed away. It was funny. Probably the engine got flooded or something. Dundee United 2, St Johnstone 0. St Johnstone obviously continuing their poor run. I would love to see that horrible team get relegated. Craig Levine, I mean, the bloke, I mean, he could ball for Scotland, he really could. Unfortunately, St Mirren did lay down and die again against Celtic. Oh, you've just mentioned Celtic again. You mustn't be a Rangers fan because you mentioned Celtic again. Shut up. Anyway, St Mirren 0, Celtic 3. Unfortunately, like I said, they did lay down and die, as per usual. Aberdeen winning 2-0, keeping up their excellent start to the season. Oh, you're complimenting Aberdeen now. Against Kilmarnock, who have had an appalling start to the season. You know, really, really bad. And Hearts' dreadful start to the season continues as well, with Motherwell winning 3-1 at home Fir Park against the Edinburgh side. All that leaves the SPL table looking like this coming out of the weekend. Yes, unfortunately, that lot in green and white are on top of the league on 9 points. The bar merchants from the northeast coast of Scotland, since I'm not allowed to refer to them by name, on 9 points as well. Rangers sit third on 7 points. Shows how costly that draw against Hearts was. Perhaps not the good result we thought it was initially. We've got Tynecastle. We've got a draw at Tynecastle. Well, Hearts have been shocking this season so far. And you know what? Could Stephen Naismith be the first manager to be sacked this year? I think there's a good, strong likelihood that could happen, especially if they crash out of the Europa League. Dundee sit fourth on 5 points. Dundee United fifth on 5 points. A ding-dong Dundee derby. Ding-dong Dundee clash at fourth and fifth. Motherwell sits sixth on 4 points. St Johnstone seventh on 3 points. Far too high up for that team. St Mirren 8th on 3 points. Ross County 9th on 2 points. And Hearts 10th place. Who'd have had that one? The two Edinburgh clubs slumming it in the slums of Scotland with 1 point each in 10th and 11th place. And Kilmarnock, who would have seen that one coming with the players they've got, the manager they've got, who was, remember, Lincoln Rangers at one time, who many people said should be the manager over Philippe Clement. Derek McInnes' Kilmarnock, bottom of the league with no wins, 3 defeats, and they have not even scored a single goal yet this season. I mean, who'd have called that one after how they performed last season? Clearly, Kilmarnock are struggling with the Thursday, Sunday of European football this season. Perhaps it will be good for them when they do go out of that competition, allowing them to focus solely on the league, because that team has not changed a great deal. They've still got some very good players there in Davy Watson, Danny Armstrong, for example. Sorry again for mentioning players from another team. You know what? It's a difficult situation for them. But Rangers 6-0 winners at the weekend. A great performance by the boys. Much better. Again improving. Again looking more fluid. Yes, we don't need to get carried away because it is only Ross County. But that morale boost will give us a lift going in to next Sunday's Old Firm game against them. And yes, Celtic fans, I did say Old Firm game. Deal with it. It's still the Old Firm game because Rangers is still the same team as the 1872 Rangers. Not the 2012 ones, as you keep turning it, because you don't know your history, you don't know your facts, and you just think. So there we go. Anyway, let's move it along a little bit. Obviously, news last night emerged that Ben Davies has left the club. He has joined Birmingham City on a straight loan. There is no obligation to buy, and there is no option to buy in the contract. Now, I very much doubt that, because Rangers want him to go on loan, get some first team minutes and come back a better player. I don't think that is the reason why. I think that it is very much putting him in the shop window. It is very much pushing him down south, where I think most people feel that he is better suited to the English Championship or the English League One. I think he struggles with the physicality, with the hammer throwers in Scotland. Technically, very talented player. Technically on the ground, he is very good at using the ball. He's just, his defensive skills do let him down from time to time. His inability to stay in the line, he comes out of place an awful lot. His physicality is not great. His heading of the ball is not great. All stuff you need to be a successful central defender in Scotland. Skills that Ben Davies quite simply does not possess. Now, there is no official word yet on how much of his wages Birmingham are paying and how much of his wages Rangers are paying. Now, we think that that Ben Davies is on around about £27,000 a week. That's kind of what a lot of the capology, the guys who look at salaries, financial experts, are kind of suggesting that he's on. If that's the case, if he is on £27,000 a week, and it looks very likely, according to reports here in the Midlands of England, that Birmingham City are picking up his full wage. Birmingham City are owned by US billionaire Tom Wagner, and his company, obviously associated also with New England Patriots, or former New England Patriots quarterback Tom Brady, who's also very rich in his own right, the TB12 Foundation and other business operations that he has, as well as obviously his former career. So it is rumoured that the full £1.4 million salary that Davies gets per season or per year is being picked up by Birmingham City, freeing up £1.4 million, or somewhere around that figure, given the number of weeks he will be away. For Rangers, obviously useful money that Philippe Clement, Niels Koppen can reinvest in the transfer market. Like I said, that's not official. That is what I'm hearing. That is what I'm reading down here. That is what I'm reading in the Birmingham press. That is what I'm reading from Birmingham fan sites. That is what I'm being told by some of my mates who are Birmingham fans that they've read, they've found out from people they know. Yes, I know that's the old man dog and bone down the old man with his dog down the pub kind of. But that's, you know what, I'm talking about the Birmingham media rather than even the Post, the people like that, rather than the old man down the pub with his dog. So that would be good news. If it's true, good news. All that salary off our books gives us money to invest, gives us money to go and buy players, gives us money to actually invest back into the squad. But I think, you know, more importantly, reduces the wage bill. And I think that has always kind of been the key mission of this transfer window. Not only to reduce the squad size, to lower the average age, but also to reduce an overinflated wage bill, a wage bill that is far in excess of Celtic's. So, you know, there we go. That's one big positive for me. Now, when he spoke on Saturday after the game, Philippe Clement said that, where's the quote? I've got the quote here. I think this is the quote. On transfers, I expect a busy week, but more incoming than outgoing. There will be outgoings, but players who are not in the squad today. Now, that automatically got tugged wagging. Ben Davies obviously was the chief name amongst them. That has now happened. Like I said, was officially confirmed by Rangers earlier today, as I reported on the video last night. So that one was confirmed. Now, over and above that, obviously the other names that have kind of sprung up to be talked about are the names, obviously, of Hadji and Cantwell. The hell's a Hadji? Hadji and Cantwell. We'll talk about their situation on the podcast in the morning. So then, obviously, the top of the two names, the other names, obviously, Alex Lowry, Adam Devine, all mentioned as well because of the fact that they weren't part of the squad, and they have been previously mentioned for exit. So those players. So, you know, there's those names, obviously, that are coming up frequently. Now, Philippe Clement has kind of reined back a little bit in that some of the interviews that he's given since that. Something that he's becoming increasingly prone to do, kind of going back on his word a little. It was in relation to Rabbi Matondo, and it was kind of the overarching message that kind of came through what he was saying to the media, and I think he was to some extent even saying that in his post-match press. If you actually go back and listen to what he said before that statement about, you know, none of the players from today's squad. Basically, you know, he was saying every player has his price. I mean, he said that at the start of the season too, you know, bar Jack Butland. You know, Butland obviously is the one he sees as irreplaceable. Now, according to an interview that he gave, you know, he said he only thinks that those players will still be here by the end of the transfer window. And he does admit that, you know, if a substantial enough bid came in for any of the players, that any of the players could be sold on, obviously, if the club and the player agreed. Now, the name that obviously kept coming up time and time again was that of Rabbi Matondo. Rabbi, obviously, who was absolutely fantastic. You know, he was really, really good on Saturday. He played exceptionally well, I thought. I mean, you know, he looked every bit the top class Rabbi Matondo that we allegedly bought. You know, those past players, if they're not there, sets up his teammates, scores goals, just looks the player that we thought we were getting when we bought him for that 3 million, 3.5 million, whatever it was. But obviously he's been gloriously inconsistent, hasn't he? Yes, you've seen those amazing moments like the goal against Celtic for the 3-3, the goal against PSV in the Champions League, the goal on Saturday. You know, at times you've seen that Rabbi Matondo, yet at other times you've seen the can't take the ball with him when he runs past the player, forgets he's got the ball, misses shots by a mile, doesn't get enough curve on the ball, just hits it straight out. You know, more endangers the corner flag than the actual goal net. We've seen that Rabbi Matondo as well, and I think a lot of fans, there's a large portion of the fans who are very frustrated with him and would be willing to see him go. He is also one of those high wage earners, reportedly on around £24,000 a week. Well, reports are between 21 and 24,000, depending on what site you read and how much you believe those figures. So, look, I think again he is one possible departure point, and as Clement said, you know, in that interview, you know, if a substantial bid came in for Rabbi, you know, the board would have to look at it, the club would have to look at it, the player would look at it. That's just the way things are now. Obviously, the Blackburn links are continuing, aren't going away anywhere. The rumours again, you know, coming out of the weekend, especially after that performance, are that Blackburn are interested and would be willing to pay the money for him. So, look, even though the English Championship and the English Premier League are governed by PSR, FFP, Blackburn are seen as a team and not in any danger of PSR, not in any danger of that 82%, I think it is, they're allowed to spend of their revenue and income. So, they could very much afford to splash 2, 3 million, 4 million pounds on Harry Matondo and not really dent their PSR, liabilities and their PSR their PSR compliability that they've got down there in England. So, this is very much a situation where this week in the window, even though Clement came out with that statement, it is very much a fact that anyone has their price, bar Butland, and if a bid came in, that they would allow those players to leave. So that's obviously reining back a little on what he initially said. Right, I want to talk about a player who I've talked about before in a video. I mentioned at the start of the video, Lennon Miller. Lennon Miller is different class. I absolutely rate this lad so highly. Now, here's his stats from today's game against Hearts. Yes, Hearts are going through a dodgy spell. Yes, Hearts are not playing well. Yes, Lauren Shanklin hasn't scored a single goal yet, guys. Yet, Nathan Naismith could well be out of a job. Allow me to just get out the world's smallest violin. He played 90 minutes today, Lennon Miller. He had 70 touches. He created 5 chances for his team. He had 2 assists of the 3 goals that Motherwell scored. He assisted 2 of them. He had a 69% successful pass rate accuracy. He won 100% of his tackles. He won 86% of his ground duels. He had 1 clearance and 8 recoveries, all in 90 minutes. Lennon Miller is a talent, and that's just one game. And if you go back across his stats from this season, last season, you will see a very similar pattern to this young man's statistics. He is a very talented player. And when you see him play, when you see the way he conducts himself on the pitch, when you see the way that he performs on the park on any given Saturday, any given Tuesday, Wednesday, Sunday, whenever he plays, he looks quality. He looks quality. And he doesn't look 18 years old. He's actually turned 18 today. Well, actually, it was yesterday, wasn't it? Sunday, sorry, Sunday. So he turned 18. He's allowed to get changed in the adult changing rooms now. He's from Wishaw. He's 6 foot. He's just 6 foot. He's a central midfielder. He can also play attacking midfield. He can also play defensive midfield. Transfer market listing around €1.5 million. I think it would take between £4 and £5 million to prize him away from Motherwell, if I'm being honest, given how promising and talented this young man is. He's played 7 games this season, scored 1 goal, plays 578 minutes for Motherwell this season. Overall, for Motherwell, he's made 44 appearances, scoring 2 goals with 3 assists. He's played, in all areas of Scottish football: the Premiership, the League Cup, the SFA Cup, and also the Premiership relegation post-split fixtures last season. So, he's got a great experience. He is a Scottish player who can hit the ground running, that knows the league. Yes, he still has to learn Rangers' style, Rangers' way of playing. He's obviously to play with those teammates of his, but for me, this is a no-brainer. This really genuinely is a no-brainer. And if we can raise money from the sales of Campbell and Hadji, why would we not go for Lennon Miller? I mean, rumour has it that the other side of the city are interested in him, that they would like to buy him. We should be rivaling them for this player. I mean, Lennon Miller, like I said, one of the things I've talked about on some of the tweets that I've put out, some of the things that I've said, is, could you imagine a midfield of Lennon Miller, Conor Barron and Mohamed Diamande? I mean, you've got everything you need there. You've got the grit and the bite and the passing ability of Barron. You've got the grit, the bite, the passing ability and the ability to go past the player of Diamande. You've got grit, bite, talent to go past the player, ability to create a chance to score a goal from Lennon Miller. You've got everything you need in a modern midfield, and I think a midfield 3 of Miller, Barron and Dio would dominate the Scottish Premiership. I really do. They are that talented. And again, you'd have in Barron and Miller and Dio, young players who have experience. In the case of Dio, over 100 games. Miller now, obviously, 44, 45 games. He's played in Scotland, has experience in this league. Barron is developing that as well. So you'd have that. And you'd also have a group of 3 that would run, that can tackle, that can pass, very much that modern midfielder. And would add that homegrown talent to the squad. And if you go back to Sir Walter's days, we've always had a core of very talented Scottish players, didn't we, in the team? You go right back throughout Rangers history, and you see Scottish players who've made a difference, the Neil McCann, the Barry Ferguson, the Ian Durant, the Ali McCoy, that he's a striker, the Fergusons of this world, that have really made a big difference to this team. So it's Stuart McCall, John Brown, who's played in midfield as well as defence. I think this is a team this is something we need. We need a Scottish core to this team, a Scottish grit, a Scottish determination there. And I think someone like Lennon Miller adding into Conor Barron, and you'd really genuinely have that for me. So I think this is a player we should definitely be looking at this week, and definitely be testing Motherwell's resolve to keep hold of him for the rest of this season. Guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for watching. As always, guys, we know what this team means to all of us. It means everything to us, doesn't it? We eat, we breathe, we sleep, we do everything Rangers, and it just is everything. And as I said on an X, a tweet, whatever you want to call it these days, this club means the world to me. There's only my daughters and my mum that I would put above this club, really genuinely. It's just everything, and we all bleed red, white and blue. We all suffer when we lose, we all are elated and buzzing when we win. We go through the full range of emotions, and this club can pull us all over the place, and we're just hoping that this week the club can give us hope, can bring in some players to excite us, that can give us some players that we can really get behind, and we can go into the rest of the season feeling that we've got a genuine chance of winning everything this season and beating them and stopping them, obviously, from overhauling our trophy haul. Guys, let me know what you think. As always, on the way out, if you like the content, please smash the like. You know what? It's up to you. I'm not forcing you to do it. I'm just asking if you've liked it, please do it. And always remember, never forget, we are the people.